Jowl. So overpass. So this is going to be Cobgoblin's pick. Doodle Bear starting on the CT side. So the Cobgoblins, we saw them get pretty tricky on, I think it was Rigo to start the game. That's the one I watched. But there's a promise in this team. There's some players I really enjoy. Some players who, based on their golfing skills last night, I don't know, the confidence may have taken a little bit of a hit. DJ was learning how to golf in real time last night. Very enjoyable spectator experience for me. But they're going to go with the early stack on towards B, and that's the right read, at least initially, for the Doodle Bears. 3 players stacked up, 1 watching back in towards Heaven. This could be the read, and with the player watching towards Fountain, they're going to be pretty confident in this hole. There's the first shot bringing it out, but Kirokami can't quite connect. And now there's players advancing forward, and they're overwhelming the site. T's running into the stack and just dismantling it. And bodies drop, and the last player in Waters is Crashies, and he's found 2. Needs more, though. Has to put the clip in the gun, and there's just not enough bullets in the day for Crashies. That's a quick and effective pistol round.
Rubber bullets in those USPs, it seems. I mean, some rounds you just have that where you have the perfect read. You got the info early for free. They got the jump spot. They knew the play was coming up short. They even had a setup for it, but those shots just didn't land. Not a whole lot you can do there. Kirokami, unfortunately, not able to connect on those first few shots. If he had, probably going to be a totally different round, but here we are. 1-0, Cobgoblins take the first. It's James Hayes Cobb leading his boys to a pistol round victory. Ponalone, DJ, and the rest of their squad moving through the playground area. Fast A default, or anti-eco rather, I guess. And they're gonna meet some friends at Long. Long bathroom stack.
Should be able to. Hayes pops right around the corner. He's jumping, he's skipping, he's hopping right around. Kohler and DJ actually get some frags back. Crashies has done a little bit of damage. I've knocked a couple players low, but it's not a hopeful situation for him as the flank comes in from the MAC-10. His position completely compromised. He's going to go ahead and fall.
That got very expensive very quickly, but you're just happy at this point to have 2-0 on the board. Salvage some weapons. You got your AKs back. You're good to go. But the first buy round, 4 AUGs, 1 M4. CT's coming out now, hoping to respond. And, you know, Ska not having this AWP, I'm anxious to see that later on in the half, but I guess the first question for Cobgoblins on a map like Overpass for me would be, how are they going to run their T-sides? How's James going to call this? Is this going to be, we're going to run a default, or are we calling on the fly every single round, fast strats, being aggressive? Obviously, that's not the case here. Kohler sitting outside B, given a lot of room, just trying to pick up any info he can for free, which he will get none. And the CT's already cheating their rotator over towards A. Hayes kind of pushing up towards this front bathroom area on the default, all alone, no supporting nades or flashes. Skadoodle and Kirokami will punish. Now it's a 3-on-5. Kohler trying to make a move towards B. Bomb is still way back over towards T-spawn, so none of these kills will matter either way. Seb drops Kohler, and now there is no B presence. The T's stranded in front bathrooms with no bomb and no real map control to speak of. But Ponalone still going to fish around for a frag or 2. DJ finds the first on Skadoodle, and Ponalone trades onto Kiro. So here it is, 2-on-3. Suddenly this is a very winnable round for the T's. And Ponalone and DJ just kind of working together, making sure that they're not overextending individually. They're going to be hurt, I think. That's Crashies in connector, and he may have just gotten the information that the terrorists are moving back towards the B-bomb site. He's already out towards short. Teammates are rotating in. It seems like they're biting on that, and it's going to be real. DJ and Ponalone actually moving towards B, and here it is. Seb finds the first. Ponalone now in a 1-on-3, 17 seconds, clock ticking away. Not a whole lot to be done here. He finds one. That's a consolation prize because Booby got his head clean taken off.
At least they changed that up a little bit. It was looking like the team was just going to get fully blanked, right? 5v2, rough situation, stuck out towards Long, no bomb, no real info. They bring back a couple kills. They make it at least a challenge for the Cobgoblin, or for the Doodle Bears rather. Keep that economy just a little bit trimmed, but that was a very solid CT defense. The AUGs in play. I mean, you can just see how fierce they are. Taking a duel with a MAC-10, always going to come out on top. Yeah. This time, Kirokami is going to be picking up the SMG, and they've got a chance to stack some cash from that gun. There are a lot of unarmored targets coming his way.
He's swinging up towards Fountain, just trying to find an entry for his squad. Like you mentioned, the MP9, I think on rounds like these, the importance of building a bank when you're winning is huge, but I think even more so with the new economy, like not dying is paramount, you know? So Kirokami, if he's able to get a few here, that's awesome.
Seb's actually glass cannon off. That's interesting.
Maybe he doesn't even know that he doesn't have armor, honestly. Like, he rebought a bunch of nades. Maybe it's a overlay bug. Who knows? Seb, I hope you don't have armor. Or I hope you have armor, rather. Kirokami jumped through the smoke. This is officially a Rank S Combine game. Hazed in DJ Fall, but Kohler trades one back on Akiro. Not going to be able to make this eco round productive at all. One frag, but the CT's clean it up nicely. And now we're 2-2, all tied up.
That's like the boldest strategy when you hop through the smoke. There are 3 players right there, 2 of whom are on each other's heads. It's like, okay, let's see how many I can kill before they kill me.
I mean, on the other side of that, I mean, I was saying that it's really important to just not die, but Kiro being able to sacrifice himself to that smoke, you get the info early, and you deny the terrorists to be able to, like, encroach upon that front bathroom flower pot area where Deagles can actually do a lot of damage to CT's overpeaking on the A-bomb site. So Kiro making that play just basically blows up any kind of massive peeking the terrorists would have been done, forces them to fight. Booby and Seb find the first 2. Huge short control coming out here from the CTs. They fall off quickly after those first 2 frags come in. Booby, the only one they've lost so far.
And look at how far forward Kirokami is. He's going to have that flank if they try
All
to
the
rotate
info.
back. He's all the way back. He's just going to sit here by playground and punish if they move through. They've got to clear this. They have at least connector control, so that's an avenue, and it looks like Reitz wants to exploit that avenue. And if they go up the connector stairs, they're actually going to have a free path on towards A. So there is sort of a double-edged component to this control from Kirokami. But, oh, he's going to have the timing here. Does Kohler clear it? He seems like he wants nothing to do with it. They're aware it's a possibility. And based on the fact that they're all expecting this aggressive pug style, they almost know he's around that corner. And oh, there's the timing. He's going to be pushing. The problem is, free bomb site.
Yeah, and this timing being hit by, I mean, Hayes is walking up and has no idea, obviously, that the CTs know that they're not towards A. But in actuality, they had just timing by Kiro, like you said. And this is kind of one of the dicey things about flanking on overpass is you don't really know what you're going to be getting yourself into no matter which way you go. And here we are, Kirokami set, poised, and ready to find the flank, but only gets 1. Tons of damage being thrown out, but Ska finds Hayes. And now it's just Kohler in a 1v3. 22 seconds remain. Kiro did his job beautifully there. And I actually really, really like plays like that. Like, he got some very basic information and operated off it and allowed his team to go stack. Obviously, it was a stack that was, what's the word I'm looking for here? Misguided, perhaps, but nevertheless got them in a position to be confident about where the terrorists were, where they were moving. And that flank coming in just kind of confirmed it. So 22 seconds left is not enough for a 1-on-3 to partake. 3-2 now. Doodle Bears firmly taking the lead. 3 straight. Cobb Goblins back on the Deagles. See what they can do with them.
Gonna get aggressive, trying to just run down a player. The Mollies were in to slow them, and that's actually a nice little tag through the panel. Might have been able to clear up a little bit more there, but they're gonna go ahead and fall off. 3 players in towards B is sort of the early strategy for them. It's working very effectively. Booby, that's a bold peek, but he's got a flash to cover him, and that'll work out. Now he's got another player close up, and they're just knocking down the targets. Reitz at least answers back with the Deagle, so that's a little bit of blood let from the CT side. But the Cobb Goblins struggling here in the ecos. And they really haven't gained any ground. They're just locked out of sights. No real path to it, and the CTs have not been tested. It's sort of a poke and a prod, and the CTs just put down the shield and push them back.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if you're not hitting your Deagle shots, I mean, this applies to actually Team CS, not just Pug CS, but if you're not hitting your Deagle shots as a team, really it's kind of unproductive to be dumping that much money into Deagles and have no plan to get a bomb plan at least. So I'd like to see them throughout the rest of this half at least, if they're continuing to not find these Deagle kills, maybe come up with a fast B play, try and get a bomb plant, anything really to just kind of staunch the flow of bleeding money that the Cobb Goblins are experiencing. They've already ecoed 2 or 3 times in this game, and DJ is going to fall to Booby, who spots out the first, second, and almost the third. Seb there to bail him out. 4-2 now, and Noodle Bears looking real good.
Booby and Seb are working quite nicely as a little duo over on B. I mean, we saw that the peak for short early on, where they, was the 1-2 combo. And then there you see Booby takes the first 2, and then he's like, all right, I'm about to die here. Seb rolls up and says, not today, friend.
I call them Noodle Bears.
Noodle Bears? The Doodle Noodles?
I like that too. Yeah, the Noodle Bears.
Maybe they're the Noodle Bears if they're not hitting their shots.
Do whatever they want, man. Speaking of which, Skadoodle on that AWP. Peeking towards Fountain, sees nothing. Fast monster play coming out from the terrace. I love it. First one goes DJ. 2 entries going the way of the T's, but Seb answers back with 2 of his own, and now it's a 2-on-3 situation. Cobgoblins scrambling into the site, trying to clear everything they can. Seb will fall. Pwn alone gets him, and now we're on a 2-on-2. Ska going towards that heaven location with that AWP. Kiro coming in through CT lower. Molly comes out, misses its mark, as does the shot coming out from that AWP. So Kiro quickly clearing CT lower, able to gain a little bit of ground here, and knows that perhaps one could still be at default. He's clearing everything, and it's just a matter of timing. If he can somehow creep up and get a free one onto Reitz, and there it is. Now it's a 1-on-2. Pwn alone probably going to make an aggressive peek here, and Scott punishes him, and now it's 5-2. Diffuse comes out. Doodle Bear's looking real good.
That was nicely played. Just works his way right past for the blindside shot. Pwn alone not in position yet to really cover that off. And so Reitz is kind of on an island and just gets caught out. Rough situation for the Cobgoblins, and after that quick start off the pistol, they have just hit the brakes in a major way, pulled the E-brake, and slewed right to a halt. And just the longer this goes on, the Doodle Bears start to build that cash. They're breaking out the AUGs every round. They've got all the utility in the world, so they're sitting comfortable. And even when they're taking hits, even when they're taking losses, it's effectively traded so that the damage winds up sitting on the Cobgoblin side. So we're going to see what they can break out here. They need to change things up just a wee bit. Looks like Nectar Control is the early move.
My big issue with what they've been doing the past few rounds that I think is resolved here is that if they're not going to run a standard default, which they are, they're giving a lot of information to the A players. We've seen Kirokami flank twice now, I think. We've seen Skadoodle quickly rotate off of a fountain peak. If you have no presence towards A ever, CTs are going to key in on that and be able to gamble more towards the B and connector areas. So 5-2. Map control being seized, front bathrooms, fountain area in the terrorist's hands, and as well as short B, I believe.
That's the perfect angle for Seb. We saw him, I think it was crab walked around this in, I think this may have actually been back in the NBL game. So I may be looking back.
That's okay. I'm letting you.
You know, I'm just iconic. Seb at Monster with an AUG is a great one. But close up, Pwn alone's headshot going to win the day over Kirakami's. At the end of the day, AUG, AK comes up on top in the close range. Kills are being traded. There's a path towards the site, but the problem is the CTs are already rotating. But Pwn alone so low, he's going to have to hit his shots instantaneously. Now he's the only hope. 1 HP and an AWP. It's 1 bullet to do it. He'll hit the first, though, and his bullets are bigger. Pwn alone dropping bodies. He's looking for more. This is his favorite weapon. He's going to be looking to bring this home. They've got a nice crossfire, though, and there should be no chance that he gets this in only 25 seconds. He's going to try and isolate a 1v1. He's stuck between a rock and a hard place, but they'll peek him anyway, and Booby will come out on top. There was no need to do that, but need has never stopped these players from peeking an angle.
Absolutely not. A 1 HP 1v3 would have been nice to see. A nice little quick scope coming out from Pwn alone. And you said it was his favorite weapon. How do you know that? Is he an opper?
Oh, man's an opper.
Really?
Man is a big-time opper.
Man, in the morning pugs, I play with them frequently. Flom morning pugs with Pwn alone. Don't see it a whole lot, but certainly he's a fragger. I'll say that. Man's got a lot of talent. Back on the pistols, Cobgoblins struggling to find any foothold in this game. Luckily, they won that pistol, so they were able to secure the first 2, but these ecos are just ineffective. Kirokami finding 2 and plenty of info, knowing at least 2 of these players are low and towards that fountain. Hazed actually creeping on the hunt for Seb right now.
Hayes might find this. I don't think he's going to have the timing, though. Seb's slipped right past him. Problem is, now he's going to call that there's a path to B. And, Seb has the placement. If he doesn't go too far forward here, he's going to have an easy kill and the second as well. Kohler somehow wins that out with the MP9. The spray just goes a little wide from the AUG, so now there is a path towards a bomb site, and Hayes is so far forward that he can set up here, and as they try and get back in to deny, he's going to punish somebody. T250 to the brain, but Booby, ever the aware one, expecting those strange off angles, is going to check it. I'm not sure what that molly was, but Kohler is going to drop.
That play from Hayes, unfortunately, like we saw as Booby was rotating, that he was clearing everything. So, I mean, once you're in that situation, you just know that the potential for a terrorist to be pushed that far up. No armor, P250, maybe Hayes gets lucky there, but unless he's swinging into it, Booby probably gets that frag 10 times out of 10. Well done, and good awareness from him to be clearing everything. Nice round. They actually got a few frags. I guess it was off of that MP9 that they got from Kirokami. Kohler was able to pick up 2. So a little bit of damage done, but it seems a little too far, too late, perhaps. Ska getting that info that they're towards A again. So this is actually going to play out like probably the most normal overpass round that we've seen so far. Hoping to gain some bathroom control. Kohler dancing around this half wall, waiting for a pop flash to clear hedge. And actually, Booby, I love that play from Hazed. Unfortunately, he's not able to get both, but he senses the B aggression coming out. The pop flash comes over. He's turned and throws one of his own, and Booby is just full blind, looking like an absolute idiot on the wrong side of Monster. He gets destroyed immediately, but Crashes is able to trade that out. And Ska being, I mean, once he found this frag over at Bathroom, Ska falls. Kuro is able to trade back on a Kohler. So it's still a 3-on-3, but the A bomb site has effectively been lost. Reet's finding one on a Kuro, and now it's definitely lost. Crash using Seb on a 2-on-3 retake. Reet's only on 2 HP, so at least with his bomb planted, the CTs have some hope. Not a whole lot of utility. One molly left on Crashies.
They're definitely vulnerable, though. I mean, this health situation, this is viable. The mollies are
winnable.
going out. They're so far back, though. This has to be quick from Crashies and Seb. The question is, do they want to go for it? Because despite winning a bunch of rounds in a row, the only player with built-up cash is really Ska. They are going to test it, and they're pushing forward now. Taking these guns out of the T hands at the very least would be worth it. Now all 3 T players are so low. Ponalone's 1 shot away.
Oh, no.
It's just going to be on Crashies and Seb who are doing the damage. It's all Seb now. No time on the defuse, but he just wants to find some frags, and he won't be able to do that either.
And he's gonna
This
fall to
bomb
bomb.
will kill him.
I love
Good
the nade. It
Oh.
almost makes it over party, but not quite.
That's a Hail Mary right there.
There's a round on the board for the Cobb Goblins. 7-3 now. Finally able to strike some gold, just playing a very standard round. And actually, I think it really kind of started off of that B aggression where the first entry actually gets handed to the Cobb Goblins. Booby gets caught outside of Monster, but there's a various ways that you can actually deal with outside B aggression on your T side default. If you're the lone player over there, it's really tough. Catch a pop flash, if you can push through. But Hayes was able to deal with it and at least get his team that info. So they press towards the bathroom quickly. And again, this is actually the first time that we've seen it happen, but they're flashing off that party angle and making Ska play a more passive angle. So Doodle Bears without info this round. CZ's across the board and an op on Ska. Should be interesting.
Yeah, this is a bit more challenging. The question is, can that big green gun really have the impact that they need? And flashing Ska back is a good start here. Make him uncomfortable, make the rest of the team react. And you can see this stat coming through. They didn't take any presence towards B early, so they're bringing all of the guns to bear here. Very small guns, but Ska will use the big gun to answer the first blow. And there's been some damage done. The problem is, there's no punish for the rotate. They can get off of this if they want, and knowing that the op is here, you'd imagine that they're going to move back, but the bomb's still towards long. It looks like they want to press it, regardless of the situation. Ponalone's going to be trying to just straight take the duel, and he'll win it out. Ska drop, that's big. But Seb's worked his way up, and that's going to be an easy frag onto DJ. He's looking for more, but long range, the P250 is going to be a little tricky to work with. He'll worm his way out of the angle and avoid the trade frag. And now he can wait. Booby getting maybe a wee bit aggressive there, and now the path's been cleared to B. So the Cobb Goblins should be able to find a firm path through, but Seb and Crashies have now upgraded their weaponry. That's something to be wary of.
Yeah, suddenly they have a real fighting chance in this round. Seb able to get that P250 kill that was effectively for, 2 HP. Ponalone putting the bomb down at B. It's 3-on-2. I think in this kind of a scenario, it's totally different than it was last round, where the retake is you're nearby and you know for a fact that a lot of the T's are low HP. Hopefully the teammates are communicating that. But if you're gonna kind of be aggressive and try and make some magic happen, it's a lot more feasible to do so when you just know that it only takes a bullet or two compared to max HP. Hazed on 100, 62, and 82. You didn't do a ton of damage to these guys, so might as well just save what you've won, which is an op and an AK, and hope to find an exit or two. But Seb gets his head clean taken off by Kohler. Nice shot from him. Crashies wants none of that. Over towards playground. He's vying for himself and is able to secure Ska and op in the next round.
That's going to be big. We'll
Yeah.
see if they do toss it over to Ska, because we did see Crashies play a bit of flashy op in yesterday's games.
I don't even know if they're going to buy off this. No, they are. Well, at least pistol armor. They didn't have great money. I think they were all sitting around 4K or so it wouldn't be the best buy if they did. But you can still have one of these pistol ecos where Ska's able to maybe do some damage early, and you have armor to extend your lifespan a little bit longer. But 7-4 now. Cobb Goblins making it look like a respectable half, and this could be them just heating up.
Kirakami's again going to get aggressive. This time he's just got a Deagle. No armor as well to work with. It's going to be a much tougher task, and while he'll dole out some damage, it's ultimately traded in kind. So now the Doodle Bears have to adjust. They were trying to go for that early B stack and hope that they'd get the gift of early aggression. It's just not to be. So they'll rotate back. The Omp will get into play on A. And Booby. Oh, he's been so aggressive. He's going to do it again. He's landing some Deagle shots, and there's the conversion. He's got the kill and a retrieved rifle. No chance for the T's to really punish that. And now Seb's got all the information. They're all coming through towards long. There's one bathroom player, Hayes, who's just going to hold his Booby, hops up the connector. But Ska's worked his way into the bathrooms itself. This is a tricky spot to hold, especially since he knows Hayes is coming. But they're not going to be expecting it, and he'll claim first blood. Might have support from Crashies as well. If he can catch off Hayes, that would be huge. He's got the spot, they've got the info, and there's the tap as well. Crashies connects. Now this is much more comfortable for the remaining players. The op is in play, and the Cobb Goblins are going to say, we want none of that action, and we'll take it straight to B.
Yeah, it's a good decision here, but unfortunately, it almost makes it more of a difficult scenario now that you're moving towards B. Obviously, made clear by this monster flank coming in, but Crashies just holding W, all the footsteps in the world. I even heard him. Kohler finds it for free. I was about to go on a rant about how Crashies is going to destroy them both before they even put the bomb down, but not the case. Ska salvaging this op that's been in play for like 4 or 5 rounds in a row.
That's not bad to say, right? You just got to keep that op up. You do damage, you drop 3. It's respectable. You're going to have the buy up in the next. It should be a very good buy as well. I expect the double op to come out here. That's what I'm looking for off of Crashies. I'm expecting that double op to come out. Kirakami has plenty of cash as well, so they should have plenty of utility. They should have quite a bit to work with here. The question is, does Ska stay alive? He's anticipating the peak. I don't think Ponelon wants to give it to him. So they'll just hold it, detente. And now we're going to have a full gun round. So Cobb Goblins making a run here.
Did you just use the word detente in a cast?
Oh, yeah.
I feel like you need a gold star for that one.
Yeah.
That's an SAT word, man.
It's a good word.
Anyway, Cobb Goblins with 5 on the board. I actually will say this. CT side economy, like Doodle Bears with their early lead, it's kind of difficult to, everyone complains about the new economy or whatever. It's hard to keep an economy going when you're winning on the CT side and you're losing a lot of players. They've done a really good job with their money. All of their ecos have been productive, and they've been really close. And they've been able to keep an op into Skadoodle's hands, and their utility hasn't been bad. So what I'll say is, going into these last 3 rounds of the half, Doodle Bears, this is probably their last full, really healthy buy, unless they start winning. So Cobb Goblins could potentially run away with this. Hayes creeping up short past sandbags, just picking into the B-bomb site. Absolute confidence seething out of this man. Just wants to find an entry for his team. He might concede one to the CTs, but he's clearing monster. Now they know. They're all walking in. DJ finds one on Akiro. Booby the only frag to come at B before Ska answers back with one of his own. Now it's just Crashies all alone. Pushing through CT lower towards heaven. In a 1-on-3.
He can get to that op. He wants it. I don't think he wants any of this action, but he wants that op. I'm not sure he's going to go for it, although Crashies, of course, a bit of a flare player, so it would not be out of the ordinary. He tries to take the angle, and Kohler's just a little closer than he anticipated. Rips the head from his shoulders and claims the 6th round for the Cobb Goblins. Slow to start, but now that they've got that momentum behind them, it's hard to stop them.
You can see how comfy they're getting.
Yeah. They're enjoying it. The smiles are out.
They're all
relaxed.
making plays now.
They're making plays. I mean, Kohler, a player who I would say was a little quieter yesterday, 16-9 right now. 16-9. That's big delivering from Kohler. A ranked G player coming in. He was the last to qualify for the ranked S Combine itself, and he's really crushing it so far on Overpass. Crashing's going to get aggressive here. We see Kirakami play this a lot. This time he's going to be towards long. It's going to be Crashies with the Deagle just crouched behind the fountain. He will indeed crash to his death. Spone alone uses the big ol' op to swat him down. Kirakami has a scout. This could be a nice lineup if they do decide to go around it and give him the headshot angle over the fountain. But they want none of that.
I'm just thinking about, imagine if they saved that op last round.
Right.
Like, obviously Scout bought one of his own, but here comes the B execute. Seb, first to make contact, will find nothing. Hazed, finding him instead before he gets dropped by Ska, who finds 2. big AWP frags on that B bomb site. Suddenly, this is a little scary, but he's going to get burned as soon as I say that. Funnel putting an off bullet into thin air. Kurokami absorbing it into the ether. Somehow survives another moment or two longer. And now it's 7-7. What a different story it was from the first 10 rounds or so of this game, where Cobgoblins just didn't really know what they wanted to do on their T-sides yet. And now these grouped plays, these 4-man, 5-man pushes, just pure trades across the board. Dominance on the bomb sites. And some unfortunate failed clutches out of Doodle Bears have led us to this scoreline of 7-7, where Cobgoblins, who should have maybe been stomped into the dust early on in this half, now have a potential to win the whole 15-round shebang.
The whole dang thing. It is their map pick, of course, too, so you want to see that comfort, although who's to say how much that matters. Scott going to get aggressive this time, changing it up towards construction. He's going to pluck a player, and that's good damage done onto DJ as well, so the Doodle Bears starting strong now, and that's what they needed to really close out this half and restore that confidence. This has been a game of streaks. We had 7 rounds in a row, now 5 rounds in a row for Cobgoblins. The question is, can Doodle Bears apply the brakes and set themselves up at least decently to go into that second half? Hazed, he's been a monster throughout this tournament. He really has been making a ton of individual plays, and he's going to look to do so for his squad again. There's the opener. He finds it, snaps two, and that's one aspect of the B defense out, but it's going to be already drawing the A players into rotation positions. They're not quite rotating yet, but they're thinking about it. And the question is, do the Cobgoblins want to hit? Or do they want to fade away? With those smokes tossed, I'm thinking this is the fade away through connector up towards A. They're changing it up. They're drawing the rotation. Everyone's off the site for the CTs, and that's going to be rolling out the red carpet for Kohler, who's about to discover that no one's home. Bomb still hasn't rotated.
Yeah, bomb still at short. I imagine this is going to be a double fake, just to make some contact on A. See if they rotate over. If you find this kill, you've already won the round, and here it is. Kohler knows that they've just won. They don't even need to rotate the bomb to A. As long as these CTs are moving, there's zero chance that you give this up, unless you get a headshot through a smoke, which is always a possibility. You never know it. DJ continuing to sell this fake, or at least he's back in a lurk mode. Actually, they have no idea that he's there. The CTs are heavily confused. They think the bomb is still at A, but that's just a lie.
Look at that patience from DJ. He doesn't ultimately really convert it. Now it's Hayes dueling off with Booby. A 1v1, and Hayes will reposition out towards the monster tunnel. Booby is closing distance. Never a player to be feared of taking an encounter. He's going to hop over, and he anticipates, has the lineup, but Hayes has the shot. Nice response from the captain of the squad to win that out. Booby had the right idea, just didn't quite have the trigger.
That was impressive. The that moment, I think at the beginning of the round, the Hayes first entry, you were talking about that Seb angle earlier where he's sitting underneath the grate, scoped in with the AUG, hard to move. And certainly anytime you peek him, you're going to be losing that gunfight. One pop flash over. I don't know who it was that threw it. I think it was Kohler. I don't know. It's irrelevant. But whoever threw the flash, definitely it was a set like, hey, he's going to be holding this angle again. Go ahead and flash it. I'm going to wide peek it. Hayes peeks right into it. Doesn't even hesitate to fire. Drops Seb right away. And that opens up the map a lot, because once the A rotator kind of cheats toward B, you know, that fake situation of being able to make contact one place, act like you're fading away towards A, make contact back on A. I mean, it would have been a much cleaner round if Kohler didn't get accidented effectively on Shrug through smoke. But 19 and 10, huge half coming out from him. And I know we talked about it at the beginning of the game, but Ska, 16 and 9. Big AWP half from him. I think it was missing on some rounds where they maybe needed a little bit more of it. And a lot of those came off of those pistol saves when all they had was the AWP. So all in all, some solid play coming out from both teams. But here we are, 8-7, Doodle Bears. Wait, didn't Cobgoblins win the 8th round? I'm sure we'll get it fixed. It's okay.
They did
CT side, Doodle Bears. Here we go. T-pistol coming out. Or I guess T-side, Doodle Bears, right? Why am I messing this up?
There we go. We've got it fixed. T-side Doodle Bears, yes. I think the scoreline needs to be swapped, but we'll figure that out in a moment.
No, I'm just saying I keep calling them Noodle Bears, man.
The Noodle Bears? I mean, people used to do the spam this noodle to help Skadoodle in chat.
I think that's where I'm getting it from.
That's got to be Skadoodle's Noodles.
Spam this doodle to help the Doodle Bears.
Doesn't work as well. Noodle and noodle. Spam the noodle, folks. Spam the noodle if you're a fan of the doodle. And we'll see if it gives them enough strength to close out this game. As it is now, they're going to be moving forward.
Slow T-pistol.
Slow T-pistol indeed. It's a huge change from what we saw in the first half. First half, it was the lightning fast pistol, just straight out with the, overwhelm them, suffocate them with T presence. This time it's slow and steady up the bathrooms towards the A-bomb site. It's going to be Kohler, who has been a massive performer for his squad, to really be first contact here. And he's hopping for information, but there's the shots. He's distracted from long at just the wrong moment. Kirakami gets 2 big pistol shots. That's going to open it right up. Ponalone, though, crouched in by Optimus, just landing the heads. I mean, that last bullet almost seemed like an accident right as he had to go for the reload. He ekes everything out of that position possible. Hazed and DJ, it was enough damage from Bonalone that he managed to convert it through. That was a massive answer from Bonalone.
2 huge entries from Kiro, putting the team on his back. Like, they had the A-bomb, so you thought the round was already locked up. Kohler was just blindsided from long, and then Ponalone finds 3. I mean, we could call it an accident. We could call it random, but, that was pretty skillful.
It was beautiful.
That was
that last shot as he just, whips it up. It was nice.
Yo, Ponalone, keep it up, bro. Fragger. 7-9 now. Cobb Goblins extending their lead to 2. First time of the game. They've been up by more than 1, which, obviously, that's the case.
Seb gets a little tickle in the
Dumbest
ankle.
thing I've ever said in my entire life. You'd love to see it.
It was a long night. Ponalone is going to have a lot of bodies in his face. He stood strong with USP. Now he's got a slightly bigger gun to do so, and he should have an opportunity.
Have we seen any
Feeling
aces?
ace? No, a lot of 4Ks. I think
Really?
maybe one. Maybe one.
Wow. I'm not doing my job.
A lot of 4Ks, though. Well, you need to hop in the server and get us an ace. It's going to be Reeds who takes first contact, but Bonalone, he was just toying. He knew exactly what angle the player was going to be holding, and he's patient and ultimately delivers. It'll be the pistol itself to get the kill, and it's just going to be Seb, who's now alone, completely separated from his team. He caught a little bit of damage early in the round, and now he's just going to see if he can't find that bomb, maybe rip a couple heads off, hope to connect on somebody with a deagle, but this is hopeless. 40 seconds. The odds of him being able to get this bomb, get it to a site, get it planted, minimal at best. But hey, this is Vegas, baby. Sometimes you got to play that long on.
Sometimes you got to roll the hard 6, Seb, he falls, found nothing. 0. Unfortunate as it is, their first gun round's coming out. Nothing else prior to this matters. This is where you set the tone, send a message to the CTs that we're one step ahead. I wonder what they're going to do. Last half we saw some quick group play from Cobb Goblins that got punished because they were conceding a lot of map info. Doodle Bears, I wonder if they're going to be able to capitalize on the mistakes that Cobb Goblins made early. Silently moving up towards this fountain area. Crash is creeping along this fountain wall. Reeds falling a bit more passive. He may have gotten some information off of that, not sure, but he finds a nice headshot on a Crash. He deletes him, finds another on a Kiro, and a third on a Booby. Darn, I really thought this was going to be the ace. Ska has something else to say about it. Drops Reeds. Kohler finding 1. Now it's a 3-on-1 situation. Skadoodle 5 HP, no bomb in hand, and it is over. 11-7 now. Cobb Goblins are looking real strong. Reeds, huge round.
I mean, this is just in the second half they're rolling, right? They are rolling. They're not even getting much answer back from the Doodle Bears. It's been a bunch of ecos, so it's tough to get clean. And we did see this in the first half from the Doodle Bears themselves, where they had that early run of rounds. So maybe a chance to answer. But the Cobb Goblin's going to try and stack this on and close this out as quickly as possible. And the second map, folks, will be Inferno.
I'm excited for Inferno.
I love Inferno.
I mean, I'm still excited for the rest of this game. I love casting Overpass games as much as I love playing it, but this Pug scenario is kind of like the opportunity to showcase everything you know. Double pushing long A. Reeds finding another 2 entries at the start of the round. Hayes just doesn't want me to see it.
He doesn't want you to see that ace.
No, he doesn't. Doesn't want to see it. Doesn't want us to have fun.
Doesn't want us to have any fun whatsoever.
Let's
But
get a
he
stack
is
of
having a
AVR.
lot of fun. Keeping everybody up, keeping them clean against the eco round, that's beautiful. That's perfect. And we saw in the first half how the Doodle Bears, despite putting 7 in a row, were then punished because they hadn't kept enough players alive in those 7 rounds. Well, Cobb Goblin's not going to have that problem. They are rolling in that moolah.
Yeah, it's honestly scary, especially, I mean, Inferno's going to be the same way, where if you allow a big bank to build on the CT side, it just makes it that much tougher of a nut to crack on your T side. Like, you can have all the strategic genius floating around up there, and you can have some excellent teamwork, but if you don't have the tools to do it with, a lot of the times you fall short, especially in these puggy scenarios where, you know, having an AK versus a Deagle is kind of a big deal. Being able to go out and make plays, be aggressive, push, and
I was going to say,
matters in your own hands.
I don't know how much the strategic genius comes into play in these particular matches. It's,
you know what? I actually was sitting at I was sitting at Topgolf last night talking to a couple of the team captains. We don't need to say names, but part of the reason I love these events, and especially for like younger, well, let's get back into this round. Actually, Reitz is making another aggressive play towards the playground, and he's actually going to fall to Booby. And suddenly, this is a 4-on-4. That beautiful 5v4 start that Reitz has put us in every single round of this half, with the exception of Pistol, finally being silenced. And an even trade at that. A 4-on-4 turns into a 4-on-3 as Seb drops Kohler, and suddenly this CT side looking paper thin. Ponalone seeking some map control and maybe some retribution of his own, moving his way through this long bathroom corridor towards front bathrooms. A modern-day fur, I suppose you could say. Ponalone just being aggressive as heck, and he's getting all this information that is false information. Yeah. He's probably telling his teammates, like, yo, they're definitely B for sure, 100%. Just kidding. They're all here.
Oh, wait, I lied. Now they're all around. He's going to find the first kill, though. Went massive in the pistol round from this position. Let's see if he can do more. He's going to find it. He's dropped eventually, but still damage traded out. Bomb's going to be planted.
Pone's feeling it today, man.
Ponalone is feeling it. I will say that much. Let's see if they can do more.
2-on-2 now. Bomb has been planted around that truck area. It is not at default. Keep that in mind as this round closes itself out. Ska knows there's somebody around front bathroom, so it's a duel between him and DJ. Seb steps in, and DJ is actually able to find the frag before Ska drops him, and now it's a one-on-one between Hayes and Skadoodle, and Ska trying to get aggressive. Like I said, planted at that truck position means that Ska has to move. Hayes knows it, taps Bomb once, free frag for him, and now it's 13-7. Doodle Bears looking like they're in their last breaths here on Overpass. That said, kind of what I was getting at the beginning of the last round before Reitz came up with some beautiful plays over towards Party. So a lot of times this is an opportunity not just for players to pick each other's brains and even in-game and out-of-game learn something from each other and about Counter-Strike and whatever else. I was able to do that for a while last night, and a lot of people seem to be having a lot of fun with just these pug scenarios where, yes, there isn't a ton of strategic genius necessarily, but as far as a learning experiences goes, it extends out of game as well. So, you know, sitting around talking to players that, you know, maybe haven't played professionally yet, haven't had the opportunity to do so, haven't known what it's like to face down Reitz's AUG at bathrooms. Booby does, though.
Every time he gets that opener, they just keep testing him, and he keeps punishing them. This time, Ponalone's going to stack more as well, and they know that op's in play, and they've got to deal with it. Skadoodle has not had a lot of success finding the opener. It seems by the time they get the big gun into position, they've already lost a man or two, and it's just so tough to recover from that. So they've got plenty of time, but they're running out of bodies. It's going to be Kirakami to try and equalize, but he's got to go through a smoke to do so, and Ponalone is just sitting like a sentinel on the other side. And this is a man with a lot of quick flick potential. This time, though, it doesn't land. They've gotten past him, but the Molly will make sure they don't get too far. And that's a great flank from Reitz. They didn't anticipate his position. They weren't watching for it, despite the fact that he was here early in the round, and they're getting picked apart from either side. It's the 1-2. One comes in from the left, you look left, and then you get hit from the right.
That's called teamwork right there. Ponalone having the confidence to re-walk that front bathroom's gauntlet, and he finds one and is rewarded for it. DJ and Reitz. Reitz with another 2 impactful frags, but more importantly than the frags is that information gained gave his teammates the frags needed to close that one out. Now it's 14-7. Doodle Bears and their dying breaths. I guess they're going to buy out the last 2, I imagine, yeah.
Yeah.
MAC-10s, CZs, deals, whatever they can buy. As many nades as possible. Right now, you know, 3 MAC-10s on the boards, what do? Maybe you fast A fountain play, or you do a B execute. So I imagine we're going to see something fast coming out of this, yeah.
I don't hate it either. They've been playing pretty slow and getting picked apart over towards A, so why not? Just change the formula. Yeah. Just go for it. Throw it against the wall. See what you can get. They're going straight out. They're going aggressive, and that's the rundown. The CZ actually going to strike first. Problem is, they're not getting much further.
Wow.
They are getting chewed up on entry to the site, and Crashes will find one in a little bit of space, but he's got to get in towards water, get that bomb, and get the heck out of Dodge because they are hot in his heels. but he slipped by. He's managed to find the timing. The smoke slowed these players down enough that he's actually gotten towards A and will presumably be able to get a bomb plant out of this and possibly more. It's a 1v2, and we've seen Crashies make these work before. He's going to have time.
CTs haven't moved yet. Still over there now, rotating off that short area. 1v2 Crashies. I mean, he looks really confident right now, if nothing else. He's not having the best game, 11 and 16. Not a whole lot that you're not gonna print that one out and put it on your fridge. But if you're still playing like you got some heart, some fight left in you, anything can happen. And this 1-on-2 is an example of, well, you don't want to accidentally take a desk pop, but these things happen. If nothing else, you just faked them out and thought, hey, he's deep bathrooms.
The timing here for Crashies, he finds it perfectly. As soon as Ponalone goes to the Molotov, he peeks, and he catches him with his pants down. So there's the conversion.
Wow.
The desk pop not going to punish, and he even gets an op as a souvenir for his captain.
I think he did it on purpose.
You think he did it on purpose?
I mean, like, dude, you shoot once, you know they're rotating through seats. You can hear their footsteps on metal. He taps it once, they come up, jump up, and I think they're throwing nades like he's deep bathrooms, and he's just like, I planted on the other side. They know it. They got across here. And there it is. Ponalone caught with his pants down. Well done, Crashies. Beautiful 1-on-2. A confident one at that. I love that. We were about to criticize him. Like, what are you doing, bro? And then he's got a bigger brain than me.
He flips it. He's got that improvisational talent. It's like any situation you can figure out how to make it work. So the Doodle Bear's not out of this yet. They're making a little bit of signs of life here towards the waning hours of the half. That's a nice tag. Ponalone will finish what he started, but he won't be able to get out of the position. Seb runs him down, and that's the big green gun out of play. And this has been a really strong wombo combo from Reitz and Ponalone, and now one aspect of it's out, and Reitz is down towards the connector. So he's wary of the flank. He's got to make sure that it's not possible, and he's let them slip past him. Hayes moves into position on site, still definitely a strong sentinel. And the T's will be leaving a player back towards the party, so this could be a great backstab. Seb executes off of it. That's one aspect of the defense out. No more potential really for the flank, although as I say that, DJ moves into the exact same position to catch them and sandwich them in. So the Doodle Bears, they hesitated, and he who hesitates may be lost here.
Yeah, this is, I mean, Doodle Bears opening this round, the first frag onto Ponalone enables so much, and Crashies just crashing through that short door. Absolutely no respecting DJ, drops him, and now he's going to be able to cross the site for absolutely free. Putting that bomb down, his teammates are hot in support from short. And now, Kohler and Hayes opting like, hey, are we going to go for this? We're going to save. I imagine they're going to save if you are able to keep this op in play and the AUG going into this next round with all this utility that they have on these guys. You could probably salvage a buy, like a healthy one. Probably not the best, but enough. That first kill coming onto Ponalone. Let's talk about that for a second. He, unfortunately, making any kind of aggressive player, or at least sticking around there, once you've signaled to the T's like, hey, I'm the only one here and I'm dead, and you can have all this, they basically, at 1 minute and 20 seconds into the round, had all of front bathrooms extended up to the A bomb site and long. And all they needed to do was throw one smoke towards long A, and, you know, Reitz was able to at least get the information of where they were and falls. So, you know, for Doodle Bears to be able to just take that much map control very early, it puts Cobb Goblins in a situation where they need to get scrappy and make a play, more or less, to salvage that round. And Doodle Bears able to close it out. A lot of that having to do with Crashies coming in through that short door, again coming up huge for his team. 14-9, Cobb Goblins were looking like they were ready to close it out 2 or 3 rounds ago, and now Doodle Bears finally showing us that they have a little bit of life left, at least for Overpass, but certainly their T sides are heating up, and that's really what's important going into a BO3 is as far as your teammates go and your coordination and whether or not you're all feeling frisky going into a BO3. It's kind of tough to carry that map to map, but if you're gonna lose, might as well go out looking good.
I mean, hey, you just gotta get that warm-up game in, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes you
warm
gotta
up half.
Gotta warm up half.
Warm up 10 rounds.
Yeah, something like that. They're awake now, certainly, and Ska's trying to open things up once again with the big green gun. They've got a player in towards construction as well, who's just going to be lurking around to make sure that no flank comes in. They've been punished a couple times by that connector flank, so no reason to allow the space. And it's a much more passive setup from the Cobb Goblins. Reitz is not peeking out early to try and pick up a kill. You don't have Ponalone dancing around in the bathrooms with the AWP. They're much more conservative here after giving up the frag in the last one. There's the spot on the head. Reitz doesn't react quick enough, and Crashies has the better of him. That's a big frag to open up long and push these CTs further back into the site. And further back they will go, turtling up entirely. They're going to dump a little bit of utility to try and bail space, but there's no commitment here from the Doodle Bears. They've got 30 seconds, and they can pick either site, but they've got to get a move on once they do make their decision.
Yeah,
25
I mean,
seconds,
they're
leaving
still,
so late.
with this kill on Reitz, they've got 2 players towards A, and they have no information around the map. They know that they're coming B now, and DJ with a ballsy push towards short through his own teammates. Molly is able to find some damage, but more importantly is slowing that bomb coming into the site. 10 seconds counting down, and now we have Crashies and Ska. 5 seconds remaining. Crashies finding himself in a one-on-one with 4 seconds left. Not enough time to plant. And there it is, 15-9, Cobb Goblins securing the 15.
They needed 10 extra seconds to leave themselves. They just left it so very late that as soon as that aggressive play comes in from DJ, it just stuns them enough that it slows them down, allows the remaining CTs to get in position to contest it, and there's just no chance that they're ever going to get that plant. That was really well done by DJ, even though it seemed like an insane play to just run construction with the SMG. It's that kind of... It's that insanity that almost just throws a wrench in the works. Like, that was not expected.
Yeah.
Reassess.
Half people are throwing nades, whipping the bomb out, ready to just take B. Nope. And it's crazy to see how much more confident the terrorists have been on this side since Reitz has been staunched, stopped, and deleted from that party position a few rounds ago. Ponalone finding 1, but again, this is a 4-on-4 favoring the T's with map control gained across the board. Although they may not know it yet. DJ catching some information with a beautiful jump spot and a frag on a booby. Nice spam coming out there at short. Catches a dink in return. I think that was from Kiro, but it's all going to be on Kohler in just a moment as it looks like they're poised for a monster walkout. Seb's going to find him, and now it's a 3-on-3. And the T's are back in a position where they can pretty much do whatever they want. Fake this, commit off of it. CTs are finally getting a little bit of front bathroom control, and it actually might come down to a connector flank that could just be a timing play from Reitz. Kiro Kami's able to catch the end of it. He's alive, though, 2 HP. Not quite sure how he didn't die there, but now it's a situation where you don't really know where Reitz just went. Kiro's going to gamble it.
The bomb's now going to rotate the long way around, and once again, time may be a factor here. The clock is ticking down at 35 seconds, and they've got a long distance to travel to get this on towards site. If that planter gets caught off, this could be everything, but Seb manages to clean up Reitz, and now those bathrooms have been mopped clean. Kiro Kami's got the forward positioning. He can deny them space, and that bomb can rotate. 20 seconds, but there is no flank here from the CTs, so there's no possibility of them dropping that precious parcel of C4. So the numbers will go in, and it's actually going to be a save call from the Cobb Goblins.
Yeah, I think this is the right play. I mean, you have T's on really low HP. I think this is definitely a winnable situation, but the thought process of the players has to be like, look, we're on 15-9. And we're going to concede the 10th round. We're giving them a bomb plan either way. Might as well salvage these weapons that we can. Turn this next round into maybe a little bit more dangerous of a situation for the T's. See if we can get aggressive somewhere. And just regroup and reset and try and close this out before it reaches OT.
Yeah, the Doodle Bears and OT. Don't give them flashbacks. Yesterday was OT City for this squad, but this time they'd rather get there than not. It is going to be a long road, though. 5 in a row now needed to bring us through to overtime. And the Cobb Goblins, having saved through the op and the M4, are going to have a little bit to work with here. I'm not expecting any investment whatsoever. Maybe a little bit in terms of pistols. They're actually going to toss out the pistol that was on DJ, I think, to give the maximum attempt at having just a little bit of spread in what's available. But this is going to be a pretty rough round. Unless they run into that op on Hazed or the M4 of DJ, this T should really just be able to circumvent most of the damage. With a full A stack and a quick B play out from the Doodle Bears, it's looking like these two sides are just going to completely pass each other like ships in the night and allow that plant to come in.
Yep. This should be a free round for the T's. And if this is 15-11, hopefully they're able to save the SEM4 in this off. Maybe they go for it. I don't know. We'll see in a few minutes. A few moments, rather. But, I mean, that last round, we saw Seb coming in huge with 2 big entries mid-round. Cracking sights open. I think the Doodle Bears, who started this game full confidence mode, hitting their shots, being ultra aggressive on the CT side. And we saw them kind of shaken for a little while. Now they are finally in a position where, hey, this game isn't over yet. You've been writing us off for a few rounds, Lex, but it's about to be 15-11.
There's a possibility here. There's a
Who
whisper.
knows?
There certainly is. And here you're going to see the tendrils spread from the CTs just trying to find some sort of damage with those USPs. They want the guns to be safe. Oh, DJ's floating back towards long, though, and that could actually be punished from range. It's looking like a possibility. Someone drops right at the end. I didn't actually catch that name, but both rifles are saved through for the CT side, so that's the most important factor. The Cobgoblins will stay alive. Kohler was the last to drop it, and he just had a USP, so... Though he's the big fragger for the squad. Ponalone and Kohler, really impressive so far this game for the Cobgoblins.
Ponalone's what, 26 and 17?
Yeah.
Kohler at 23 and 16. This heck of a half so far, specifically for Ponalone and Reitz. Seen them doing quite a few cool plays towards A, but both of those guys have been more or less silenced. And the T's have been capitalizing on all the map control that's been conceded towards them. But this monster walkout is going to pay off. A lot of ground being covered by the T's. Space being creative. But Ponalone with 2 huge Deagle kills of his own. Suddenly this is hazed in a 1v2 and he has an off. This is certainly doable. And if you get a free one here on the bomb site, it could be an epic 1v1. We'll see.
To him, though.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to slip away. The planter will, and Hayes is going to think better of this. Just trying to keep this up. They want maximum potential to do damage in the next. That's
The
actually an
inner
interesting
turmoil.
decision.
Yeah, the inner turmoil of like, do I go for this?
They
Do I
have money.
sacrifice this off while you're working into a bye the next round, right?
Yeah.
So it just comes down to player confidence. Like, Hayes, do you think you can win this with an op and a 1v2? And the answer is no. Then yeah, save your money. Save your money. Go home. Come back next time.
So he's going to stick to it. He might actually get pressured here. He's certainly going to get an opportunity for the shot, and he'll convert it as well. Shouldn't really matter for the T side. They're happy to throw away rifles at this point. Really only Booby who's even a question mark in terms of the buy, and they can drop for him if need be. So squad feeling good, 15-12. Only need 3 more rounds to bring this to OT. The Doodle Bears seem to thrive and live in the overtime, and so this would be just typical for them if they manage to make this happen. Meanwhile, the op will be dropped over to Ponalone, the man who's been on fire with it all game, and the full buy comes out. Not so many Augs, though, only 2. We've seen them favor it early on, but they go for a little bit more of the utility play here. They're going to be dumping that utility early to try and deny space, but it's a very passive hold on towards A. Big stack in B early, and it's looking like the T's might want to test this. The Doodle Bears, at least initially, they're hedging towards this site.
Yeah, I think Seb got spotted out at short. I think they are aware that the majority of the T's are towards this terrace side, but without what I mentioned earlier, they had Reitz and Ponalone constantly pressuring towards A, peeking around that party area, and they just have no information. So hopefully they keep this stack and are able to delay the Doodle Bears' entry into the site just long enough for a rotate to come in. But here we are. Seb creeping his way towards short. Kohler, and I believe that's Kohler and DJ over at B. So now that they're back at front bathrooms, I think they do have some information that the terrace shouldn't be towards A. They could be sand, but any moment now the Doodle Bears are going to be coming towards B. There's no other options. 50 seconds remain. Boost actually coming out from Crashies. Oh. And they fall, and unfortunately that means that the sound cues are given away. Kohler finding the first one on a Booby, finds a second on a Kiro Kami, and now it's a 3-on-5 situation. Kohler still alive with his pillar error. Clinging to 13 HP, finds a one-tap on a Seb. A nice 3K coming out from him and Ska.
It's looking like this could be around Lex. They're dropping bodies, and it's all on Crashies. He's alone. He's at least got space in the bomb, but only 20 seconds to work with, and he's going to be racing his way towards A. The CTs aren't budging, though. They're sticking right on the site and just trying to hold, expecting him still there. Finally, they'll move, but that's at least afforded Crashies the chance to punch in the numbers. And now he's in a 1v4 retake situation, and he'll get aggressive straight up by the dumpster, trying to work his way in towards the bank. He knows they're coming, and he wants to avoid that initial salvo of utility. Now they've crossed, and that might actually have been his undoing. They're onto the bomb. They know where he is. There's the shots from Crashies. He'll put a new clip in the gun. Can't find the third, though, as Reitz goes on high to deliver the death blow, and the Cobgoblins, oh, they've brought it through. 16-12. We're on to Inferno.
He almost made that happen. That one tap was absolutely magnificent. Hayes gets deleted